started around when around Illmind 5 when that came out, because the song was so big, and then they told me I had to like kind of sacrifice something. They said you're gonna have to pay it back because you just put this information out there, and this is gonna put people in the wrong mindset of what we're trying to do in society. So they told me that if I don't do these list of things, then they're going to hurt my family or hurt, people that I really care about. And they told me to go to this office. It was on Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles. And then when I went in, I asked them over the phone, what are they going to have me do? They said they couldn't tell me. And then when I went into the office, they sat me down, and it was like an all white room, and they opened one of the doors, and it had a Gucci suit. A Gucci bodysuit. And I said, oh no, please don't tell me that is what I think it is. They said, yeah, it's exactly what you think it is, pal. And I said, no, please.
That parading around out here, that ain't the real Gucci, man. So it's some weird going on out here. Like, I don't know if the clones, I don't put it past, nobody. I'm sure they got the technology to do that. But that's not the real Gucci. That's not the real Gucci. Gucci probably dead. I think they killed him in prison.
Hopson just came forward with what he says is the real truth behind the whole Gucci Mane clone situation, and it's way darker than anyone expected. Syed Gucci didn't just come out of prison looking different. He came out as someone else. According to Hopson, the man we're seeing today is not the same one who went in. But before we break down how it all happened, let's take it back to where it all began. See, you can't talk about Gucci Mane today without bringing up that dark stretch that changed his whole life, and maybe, if the street whispers true, changed him altogether. Back in the early 2010s, Gucci was spiraling bad. Dude was wilding online, starting beefs with everybody, and their mama Nicki, Waka Flocka, Yo Gotti, Birdman, even his own camp. He was moving reckless, heavy off lean, fighting charges, and catching cases left and right. Then in 2014, he finally got locked up for real, hit with a federal gun charge, after Atlanta police caught him acting out, swinging at officers, and packing heat with substances on him. They sentenced him to 3 years and 3 months, but he ended up serving about 2 years flat because of good behavior and time credit. Now here's where it gets weird. When that man walked out in 2016, fans damn near lost their minds, because the Gucci that came home didn't look, sound, or even move like the same dude that went in the old Gucci. Was bloated, slurred, always off something. The new Gucci, slim, clean cut, sharp, smiling, sober, ripped like he just walked out a Nike ad. His voice sounded smoother, his interviews calm, his whole aura switched. The internet lit up overnight. Folks said, nah, that ain't him. X, Reddit, and the blogs all started running with one headline: Gucci Mane cloned in prison. It didn't stop there. His own ex-girlfriend, Mac Breezy, jumped online and made the whole rumor explode again. She said straight up, that man walking around wasn't the same Gucci she knew. She said his eyes looked different, his speech was off, his energy was gone. Claimed the real Gucci got taken out in prison and replaced with a lookalike trained to act like him.
That parading around out here, that ain't the real Gucci, man. So it's some weird going on out here. Like, I don't know if the clones, I don't put it past, nobody. I'm sure they got the technology to do that. But that's not the real Gucci. That's not the real Gucci. Gucci probably dead. I think they killed him in prison.
And when she tried to get close, Gucci's new wife, Keishia Kaoir, blocked her hard, wouldn't let her talk too long, wouldn't let her even breathe near him. Breezy said it felt like Keishia was guarding a secret, a handler keeping the act together so nobody noticed the difference. Then Nicki Minaj even threw gas on the fire. When she went off on Keishia she called her out, saying she only around Gucci to keep him sedated and under control. She wrote, Gucci's wife has been trying to be me for years, been dying for the spotlight for years. She's there to keep Gucci sedated. That line right there had folks spinning because it matched everything. Mac Breezy already said that Keishia wasn't just a wife, she was the one keeping clone Gucci in check. And let's not forget, the streets been paying attention to how Keishia runs that man's whole life. She controls his social media, she handles all his bookings, and fans swear she the reason he stays on schedule like a robot. Then you had Gucci himself trying to calm it all down. He posted online saying, in a way, I feel like I grew. I kind of morphed into a different person, shed some of my old ways. I can say I grew up, I love the person I was, I love the person I am, and I love the person I grew to be. I tried to lose weight, I tried to take care of myself, change my thinking, my environment, and associates, the ones that wasn't benefiting me. I guess that's the transformation everybody's saying they can't believe, but I can believe it. That quote was supposed to kill the rumors, but it did the opposite. The hood said the old Gucci could barely string sentences together without some street flair, and this one sounded like he reading off a teleprompter. And just when folks started letting it slide, Hopson came out of nowhere and cracked the internet wide open. On IG Live, he said some industry elites forced him into being Gucci's clone. He said they cornered him in an all-white room and made him choose between cloning up or having his family hurt.
It started around when around Illmind 5 when that came out, because the song was so big, and then they told me I had to like kind of sacrifice something. They said you're gonna have to pay it back because you just put this information out there, and this is gonna put people in the wrong mindset of what we're trying to do in society. So they told me that if I don't do these list of things, then they're going to hurt my family or hurt, people that I really care about. And they told me to go to this office. It was on Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles. And then when I went in, I asked them over the phone, what are they going to have me do? They said they couldn't tell me. And then when I went into the office, they sat me down and it was like an all white room, and they opened one of the doors and it had a Gucci suit. A Gucci bodysuit. And I said, oh no, please don't tell me that is what I think it is. They said, yeah, it's exactly what you think it is, pal. And I said, no, please.
Folks laughed, called it another Hopson skit, but now, years later, with how weird the industry been moving, that confession starting to sound like a real-life leak disguised as a joke. And if you think it stops there, you ain't been watching how the clone talk been bubbling across Hollywood, because Gucci ain't the only one folks been side-eyeing. Look at the whole Kanye West saga. The man said it himself before vanishing for weeks. If I disappear and come back, that won't be me.
And they wanted to medicate me every day. You realize, like, they could have just switched the medication and I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue.
2 weeks later, he reappeared clean-shaven, calm, and suddenly married to Bianca out of nowhere. Fans said his voice different, his movements robotic, his interviews too quiet. Folks started pulling up clips saying he was too calm, sharp, and articulate. It's like somebody hit reset on him.
God, please.
No, you got the shot, but I'm saying
It was not good. I respect you.
It's like, that's my thing. It's like, you don't even know. Y'all just jump up on people like this, and it's just like...
I apologize if I caused you trouble, and you told me to stop and I stopped.
And it ain't just fans, there's actual patterns. That same handler talk that followed Gucci's wife, people tied it to Kanye's ex-trainer, Harley Pasternak, the same dude who threatened to lock Kanye back up and reprogram him after he started talking too much. When folks dug into Harley's past, they found out he worked in the Canadian military, studying how drugs and psychological conditioning affect human behavior.
Lucky enough to have him as my graduate advisor. And the area that I was interested in was how food affect muscular performance. And
when you say drugs, are that like performance-enhancing drugs, or are they
all
just
kinds of drugs?
Oh, right, okay.
So working for the military, I wasn't governed by the same laws that the typical person was, so I could look at the impact of certain drugs that are not everyday things.
Harley allegedly tried to put Kanye on heavy doses of lithium, the same stuff they reportedly gave Britney Spears and even Michael Jackson, and we all saw how that turned out. That wasn't therapy, it was straight sedation.
They tried to medicate me. I was exhausted. They wrongly diagnosed me. And they when I asked them, how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly? It took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, oh, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music, though.
So we've got the same formula, different name, folks saying it all connects. Gucci, yeah, even Britney, all showing up in this web of control, medication, and sudden transformation. So when you line it up, Gucci going to prison wild, coming out clean and unrecognizable, his ex saying it ain't him, his wife acting like a handler, Hopson admitting the elites forced him into a Gucci suit, and now Kanye warning the world about disappearing. It paints a picture way too strange to ignore. The internet been calling it conspiracy, but the timing too exact, the energy, weird Hollywood might be the only place where a man can walk in one way, come out another, and people just clap like it's a comeback story. But the streets saying this ain't no comeback, it's a cover-up. One user wrote, the real Gucci man died in prison, and his cellmate or someone close to him in prison came out with this statement, and that guy allegedly died as well. Another dude hit hard saying Gucci's ex-girlfriend said that's not him, and she been knowing him longer than everybody. The clone doesn't go around any of Gucci's family or friends that he grew up with. It's because they would know immediately that that's not the real Gucci. In interviews, his wife has to tell him what to say. She is his handler. So what y'all think? Did something darker happen behind them prison walls? And if Gucci really got swapped, how many other rappers out here walking around as silent replacements? Let us know what you think in the comments, and keep it locked, because this drama is far from over. And if you thought this was wild, click the next video to dive even deeper.